Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is How. Daily, I bring you a different way to make your life better. This will have happened to you. A meeting is in your diary, and then suddenly it moves, and all the decisions get kicked down the road, and it just ripples right the way through the organization, causing chaos. This will have happened to you, that somehow or other you actually managed to organize for all your stakeholders to be in one place for you to get together and discuss, and then one person can't turn up, or a couple of people who are crucial can't turn up, and therefore you have to move everything, and then everything in your diary moves again. In a fast-changing, complex world where everything is interconnected, one of the tricks which you use to survive is to stamp things into the ground and not move them, have fewer moving parts. The way we do this in the new world is we use what we call drum beats. Drum beats are regular meetings, regular get-togethers, regular workshops, regular courses at a fixed time, each time repeating. So maybe Tuesday 2 o'clock or every 3 months. Why? Because that gives you structure. So let's jump onto Cube and I'll show you how you can avoid ever having that problem again. Welcome to Cube, where, as you know, the sun is always shining. This is the Fujitsu Sodateru. They put this together on Cube because they wanted to invite their clients from the fintech industry to come and start working together. So this is what they put together. Sodateru is a Japanese word which means something which I can't remember. You have to look it up on Google. Okay, so this is where they were planning, and they brought clients. This is the layout of this particular cubicle. They called it the Sodateru campus. And you can see they've got open areas, public areas, and they've got private areas all built into the same space. We snuck in here to use one of their spaces, and I'm going to use one of the Q-pods. Q-pods are these funny 5-shaped spaces where you can get together and work. And we're going to go for Q-pod number 2 because we know it's empty. So let's jump in and have a look at that. So here we are. So drum beats, what's the secret with a drum beat? A drum beat basically is a fixed time. So you've got a fixed time, and there are rules to running drum beats. The first is you never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever cancel a drum beat. So especially if you're running a drum beat and it's at a particular time, don't cancel it, don't move it. Otherwise, it completely defeats the purpose of removing all the variability in your life. The second thing is never, ever, ever, ever change the time. Once you've agreed the time, stick to that time. Don't alter it. If you alter it, bad things will happen to you. And the formula for a drum beat is always the same. There's a coordinator. They start you off with 5 Ps, which is what you're trying to do. Then they do something about making sure everyone's aligned. Then you do the main work. Then you work out who's going to be doing what as a result. And that's your close. So generally, you'd start with a hopes and fears type of thing and finish with a rapid. Now, let me expand and show you what that would look like, and then we'll learn how to use what the new pet of today is KatchUp. This is an example of a project, people around the world meeting together in order to try to get some work done. There's a short video, which is called The Drum Beat on Cube. If you can find it on YouTube, it's well worth watching. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but we might be able to look at a little bit of it. And basically, it just walks you its way through a project. A 30-minute drum beat, 8 people meeting a tight deadline, meeting twice a week, same place, same time. I can't remember what the time was, probably like Tuesdays and Thursdays. So these are the people getting together. They're standing in a circle, always on Cube. You gather in a circle to make sure everybody knows what's going on. This is hopes and fears because it was a project, and I'll explain this. So hopes and fears, they're working out what they want to try and achieve and what they want to avoid. Someone's bringing in a document. They're sharing the document together, trying to work out what it's about. I can come a bit closer for you if you've got a small screen. And then they're probably working on a plan. There's some planning going on here. And they're also then probably reviewing it. You can see the whiteboard with tons of activities going on, which people are doing. Somebody's been capturing it. So at the end, they're probably going to go and have a look at their rapid. There you go. There's the rapid. And so that's a classic drum beat. It brings everyone in. It lines them all up. We all agree who's doing what. We close by gathering in circle again. And once we've closed, we get on with work. But that was an example from, you check the hopes and fears, make sure you've done all of them, for a project. So I want to share with you something which is not so obvious, I know, but once I've explained, you'll go, that's really obvious. Okay, so let's look at this place. This is a place, an office, a factory, who knows? But when you go there on a Monday, as you walk around, what you find is that there are people and they're all doing different things. They're all working on different things. Monday. Okay. So you go back on Tuesday. So Tuesday you go back. What you discover is they're working on different things, but they're working on different things from what they were doing yesterday. So not only are they working each on their own, but on different activities from what they did yesterday. Bizarre. Okay. Look, this is Monday, just for comparison. So you can see Monday's activities, Tuesday's activities. You go back on Wednesday. When you go back on Wednesday, even weirder, what you find is these people are doing other stuff, which is different from what they did on Monday and different from what they did on Tuesday. Isn't that weird indeed? Okay. This is what you would describe as a project. In a project, different things happen each day. Basically, a project is getting work done through time. A different office, factory, location. You turn up on Monday and you find people sort of standing around working on some different things. As you can see here, they're working on different things. You come back on Tuesday and guess what? On Tuesday, it looks just like Monday. Look, here's Monday. It's exactly the same. Oh my goodness. You come back on Wednesday and guess what? It's exactly the same again. Oh my goodness, they're all exactly the same. What is this? What's going on here? Well, this is a little bit different because this is actually what you would describe as a process. A process, the work flows through and people do the same thing every single day. And in my book, Making Reengineering Happen, I try to explain how to make the processes work effectively. And in the book, Making Reengineering Happen, and in the book, Never Reorganize Again, I try and explain how to get these processes to get people to work together so they share accountability and responsibility. And most importantly, as I promised you, no more shuffling of times. So on a project, we're used to, and you may have come across this pet, hopes and fears. It's a way of starting up because each day is different. But when you come to a daily process where everyone's doing the same thing every day, asking them their hopes and fears for each meeting doesn't work very well. What you ask them is something slightly different. And that's where KatchUp, hopes and fears comes in. You ask them to celebrate. What did you do yesterday? What worked? Pets like Action Replay are really useful here because they'll highlight what's working, what's not working. Action Replay will also let you capture and figure out what you want to repeat and share. So have a look at that pet as well. And so the people will say, I did this, I did that. I've got two different colors here to represent different people. But in the conversation, the next part is, what I'm planning for to do is this, but I need help from. And so you start to discuss your plans coming up until the next drumbeat so people can see how to support and influence each other, and you won't need any additional meetings. Now, imagine somebody couldn't make your catch-up, couldn't make your drumbeat. Well, then we need what's called catch-up forward. They come in advance. They know it's going to be a drum beat. They know there are hopes and fears. So they can add stuff to the hopes and fears. They can add stuff to the rapid. They know what's going to happen. And they tell you what they've done. So Eddie can't make it. So he's saying, look, talk to each other and make sure that you've understood this. So he tells people what to do. Calvin can't make it. So he said here, be fully prepared for the podcast because we need to end bang on time, for example. And over here, what you find is that by doing that, you end up with clarity. So people who come in after you've been, catch up forward, can get on with this and have a really good drum beat. And they can incorporate into the drum beat everything you've done. Now, somebody couldn't make it at the last minute, so they couldn't do the catch up forward. Well, the people who were at the catch up, the hopes and fears, they will do a catch up backward. They will leave for them. They'll say, hey, Eddie, make sure that you understand the ideas we said for the new cubicle. This is where we've put it, this is what we decided, and this is what you need to do, etc. So there's no rushing around bringing people up to speed and all that stuff which you waste your life on. What you have to understand is, if you're going to work in the New World way, you have to use New World tools and techniques. It's easiest always if you're on Cube. If you're not on Cube, you can still use exactly the same processes and exactly the same pets, people engagement tools, but you need to use them. Otherwise, your life just spirals out of control and life will just go slip through your fingers and be gone. So that's how. Subscribe to the newsletter. You'll find out more pets. Make sure you watch the quick guide and let me know if this works for you. I've been Eddie Obeng. That's how.